This is a Whiskey and Chokes podcast with Jack and Pat. Special guest today, Poontang Slayer Andy.
You're probably asking yourselves, who are all these strapping young bucks I'm staring at on YouTube right now? But if you've heard our podcast before, you've heard us talk about whiskey and grappling, but you've never seen us. So here's what we look like. If we have any female listeners out there that are probably having trouble controlling themselves.
I was just hanging out down at the park with the other homeless guys, and you paid me to come up here.
That's right. That's right. There were no co-hosts. I was just doing impersonations of a co-host the whole time. There's just two guys I picked up down at the homeless shelter.
I don't know either of you guys.
So today we've got one of the Solid Grappling Club members with us, Mr. Andy over here.
Long-time member.
Yeah, long-time member.
Yeah.
So, say hello, Andy.
Hey guys. I don't know what to say.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man.
Creator of Don'tLazeMeBro.com.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty loaded question.
Andy sells some awesome lasers too.
Oh yeah. We're actually getting out of the business.
Oh, forget about lasers.
I mean,
he's not selling lasers.
The business is up for sale.
Oh.
So if anybody else wants the domain.
If anybody wants to get into lasers,
Yeah,
if you wanna be in the laser selling business.
It's a very exclusive club.
What website should they go to if they're interested in buying a laser business?
Oh, lrlasers.com.
Oh, now they're
or don'tlasemebro.com.
okay. Either one. There you go.
Long range lasers.
Yeah.
Long range lasers, and they're good lasers. I gotta admit, they're pretty good lasers. I'm impressed with the lasing. So we've also got. What are we drinking today? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of ciders. We're gonna have a little bit of a hard cider tasting here. Pat and I, you guys have probably heard us talk about making cider before. These are all commercial ciders, but we're gonna have a little cider tasting. So if you're a hardcore beer guy, you're calling us pussies right now. But we kind of like cider, so you know.
It's all right.
All right. Okay, should we drink the Utah one first or last?
Let's drink it first.
Yeah, let's drink the. Okay, so we're gonna drink this Utah cider called Stinger Hard Apple Cider by the Hive Winery. These guys, I think they mainly make like a bunch of mead and stuff like that, like fruit flavored meads, which we've never had before, but we're gonna try their cider right now.
How much do you want, Andy?
Just a taste.
Just a taste?
Yeah, Andy's got to drive in a little bit here, so
Yeah.
he's trying to be responsible.
Just gonna sip a little bit.
He's being a responsible son of a bitch back there. Look at him. Screams responsibility. His appearance screams responsibility.
Do you want more than that?
Sure, when you finish it off between the two of us.
I'm not going to drink too much.
Pat's also driving,
Yeah.
so basically I'm getting drunk tonight and everyone else is driving.
I gotta go take care of my lady friend.
That's right.
She wants to go to the cinemas.
Ladies
All right.
need servicing.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Anja. Not bad. It's creamy.
Yeah, it's got
I've never had a cider that was that creamy.
you know what? I kind of wonder if they're using the same yeast to ferment the cider that they're using on their meads.
Maybe.
So a lot of times in like wineries and breweries, like they don't want the two different types, or they don't want a bunch of different types of yeast getting together and doing weird stuff. So they'll just use like one type of yeast throughout, or one type of yeast in like one fermentation system. So a lot of times when you'll drink several beers from one brewery and they all kind of taste the same, some of it partially is because they're using the same strain of yeast throughout. I kind of wonder if that's what's going on here. If this is a mead yeast.
It's like it's bordering on being too sweet for me. It doesn't have any sort of bite to it. I'm more of like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's definitely very drinkable. I'd put this in a class of like panty dropper hard ciders for the ladies.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, I got like a little bit of a champagne-y taste, I think. And
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with the, I think chicks would love this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you know, I know it's not pure. They added some sugar to boost the original gravity of it. I read that on the side of the label, that they added some sugar. And maybe some of the champagne-y kind of taste, sometimes when you just add raw sugar and ferment that, it adds kind of a champagne yeast. Or they could use the champagne yeast too, which is pretty common
Okay.
in cider making. But it's kind of bland, isn't it? Kind of just sweet and bland.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not the.
Are all the ones that you have here, are they all like true ciders or are some like flavor tabs?
No, these are true ciders.
Okay.
These are all true ciders.
Okay.
That's why we didn't buy like the.
Red's apple ale.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
like I can't eat gluten anyways, and
Oh, yeah,
those are all. So what Andy's talking about, like a lot of the like things that look like ciders, at the grocery store, like Red's Apple Ale, is actually just a malt liquor that they add apple flavoring to. So we don't have any of those today. That's not real cider.
Cool.
So what else?
Andy, tell us about how you got into grappling.
Yeah, let's hear the Andy story.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, jeez. I guess it was because of it started with rugby, and then I got too many concussions with rugby.
How many concussions did you get?
4 or 5.
And these were like you told me a story one
Yeah.
time about like one of your concussions. So just tell that
Yeah.
really quickly.
Like these aren't regular like have a headache kind of concussions. Like the last one I got, it was on a Thursday, I believe. No, it was on a Friday, and I woke up Saturday thinking that it was Thursday. Like I lost 3 full days of memory. It was just like, imagine if you were just blackout drunk and just didn't remember a thing for 3 days and then woke up. That's kind of like, it's just total memory loss.
So serious concussions.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
your rugby days were kind of over after that.
There was one where I was like, I fought it for a while. I was like, I knew I got one. When I got the concussion, I'm like, that's a concussion. Let's fight it. Let's mentally fight this. You don't have a concussion. And then driving, like I wasn't driving, my buddy was driving, but to my car, and I just gave him my keys. I was like, hey, I'm gonna stop fighting this. Could you give me a ride home? And once he said yes, I woke up the next day. And I just I stopped fighting it, and then all these stories, I got to hear all these great stories about what I did when I had a concussion. My friend dropped me off at my house. My mom came outside because she got wind that I got a concussion. I looked her in the eye and said, I don't know you. And I started walking to the end of the driveway. And she said, where are you going? I said, home.
Oh.
And then they tackled me and got me in the car and
man.
took me to the hospital. But yeah, those are some serious concussions. But then that was all in high school, and then college started, and I still wanted to be active, but I couldn't play rugby. And like I would love to get into fighting, but I can't take any blows to the head. And I wrestled back in high school, but I hated it back then. So it was weird that I just like really loved it coming to Sama and just it was very relaxed and all that, and it was I enjoyed it.
Sama was the University of Utah club we just coached.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was a fine member of Sama.
Yeah.
You realize this concussion thing could have been a superpower for you, though, right? Like you could have been like in that situation where you feel the concussion coming on. You're gonna forget everything.
Yeah.
You could be like, okay, that one big girl who's been giving me the eye in math class, I'm gonna go over to her house,
turn the brain off.
hook up with her.
Yeah.
I won't even remember the next morning.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean that's what alcohol is for. It's for like you could induce yourself with a concussion if you drink enough of it.
That's a good point. I guess we all have that superpower, really,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough. So so you came to Sama, the University of Utah, like grappling club or MMA club, and it was supposed to be an MMA club. We kind of turned it into a grappling club.
Yeah.
Right? What was your impression the first time you came to grappling?
Well, it was Chris that brought me. Yeah, you guys remember Chris.
Christian
right?
too,
Yeah, Christian
of course.
Too. Yeah,
A Marine.
Yeah, he's like, there's an MMA club. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I just liked at the U. I liked how it was. You just show up and like learn what you want to learn, and you guys supplement it with stuff that you should learn. But there wasn't a whole lot of pressure of like, there wasn't pressure to do anything. You show up and you're like, I want to learn this, and you guys taught it, and it was awesome. And then you would also like from the first thing you would learn on the first day, it would just like snowball into I want to learn this and this and this, and there was not a ton of pressure to like hours of drilling or anything like that. Or
It was a lot less structured than solid grappling club, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But now that I'm more into the jiu-jitsu world, I like the drilling now, and I could see after drilling how much better you get. So like to start out, it was cool to have it very unstructured and informal, and
It was kind of like one of those like retarded elementary schools where all the kids get to just study whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. For everybody offended by the R word, I just use the R word because I think it's funny because everybody's so offended by it now. But it was kind of like one of those ridiculous schools, right, where all the little kids like can learn whatever they want. They're like, I want to learn about vacuums. Like, no, learn about math. And those schools are like, okay, vacuums today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why like when I became president, that's why when Weiser showed up, he knows the Japanese necktie, but he doesn't know how to pass guard.
So Andy was the president of the UFU MMA club after we started our own commercial gym, and these guys kept showing up from the University of Utah club, and like they would know how to do the Japanese necktie and a bunch of other fancy traditions, but they didn't know how to pass the guard. Which is pretty amusing, honestly.
Yeah.
So, what else? What else about grappling? Like when your friends ask you about this grappling thing you do like several times a week or whatever, like what do you tell them? Like what do you tell somebody who doesn't know anything about grappling?
Oh, jeez. Oh, it depends on who I'm talking to, I guess. I don't know, because like when somebody wants to come to the Sama Club at the U, I'll be like, hey, just show up. I'm like the coach or whatever, so there's no pressure. I'm not going to force you to do anything, and I'll just tell them it's really relaxed and everything, and you could just show up and learn what you want to learn. Because everybody, I feel like there's nobody out there that has no will to learn anything about any kind of fighting. Like
everybody wants at some level wants to know how to kick somebody's ass or something.
Yeah.
So you just gotta like when you're trying to get somebody to get there, you're just like, okay, it's like there's no pressure at all. Just show up, like, because everybody always has that. Oh man, if I show up, am I just gonna get my ass kicked the whole time?
Andy's a born salesman, by the way. He even sold cars for a summer.
And he's a pretty good salesman.
I hate sales.
He hated it, but the car salesman they begged him to come back, and he refused because he's a man of principle.
Yeah, just questionable things going on at all car dealerships, I feel.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair, dude.
So you competed last summer for the first time?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything too new just because of high school wrestling, so I knew what to expect. And I did like being a little bit tipsy going out there. But I'm also I like how you guys as coaches for the newer guys did not bring them into that at all. You want them the first
competition time. Trade secrets, Andy.
Yeah.
Trade secrets,
those are secrets, buddy.
Oh, okay. We could, even though it's live, we could edit that out later. But I liked how, I don't know, could I still talk about it?
Why don't we just skip that part?
All right, we'll skip the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like you had some good matches. Like you got in the absolute, you got to compete against a gigantic black belt from which school was he from again?
Oh, was he from Mika's or Drysdale's or?
I don't remember.
I forget.
John Lewis?
But my favorite part of that was there was some guy who was standing up, so we thought that's who I was up against.
Yeah.
And then you came up to me and you're like, heel hook. Like, I heel hooked him, you could heel hook this guy. And I'm like, okay, sweet, I know what to do. I go up there and put the little ankle thing on. And then that guy that we were talking about sits down, and this other guy that's like 100 pounds more than me stands up and walks over, and I'm like, what? I was like, what?
This was in the absolute. This guy was, man, he was like I think he was the biggest dude actually competing in that tournament. And like, no fat on him, just gigantic shoulders, huge guy.
He's a coach at a known school. I forget which one it is. If we said it, people would know who he is.
Yeah, you Vegas guys would probably know this guy's name, or you can probably guess who it is just by us describing him, actually.
Did you sweep the guy? Or
jeez, I mean, he got me the way it went.
He went for the standing.
Underhook.
The thing that John Jones did with Teixeira, the Frank Mir,
and he went
Petey
for
Williams
that, and I'd never seen it or had it done to me before. But I was like, okay, how to relieve pressure because my arm's gonna snap.
Yeah,
so I just lift myself up, and I look down, and my feet aren't even on the ground. He's just got me lifted up, trying to snap my arm.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think I don't remember if I ended up on bottom of, in guard or bottom of mount. I can't really remember.
God, I can't remember now either.
I remember hitting a sweep from either bottom of mount or bottom of half. I'm not sure.
It was-
But it felt good. I hit an ace sweep on him.
Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah.
That was a
Cool.
good match, man. That was only your second match ever, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It surprised me how like controlled the guy was. He
Yeah.
he was kind of like how Ken rolls a little bit, like very controlled.
Mhm.
Like everything he does, it's with purpose. The guy, like,
Yeah.
when I swept him within seconds, he like re-swept me. And I even saw it coming, and I knew what he was doing, and there was just nothing I could do to stop it. I was trying. I was like, I know what's
Yeah.
coming, and he was just very powerful and controlled. And yeah, the coolest part about it, though, is my neck had been hurting for about a year, and then he got me in the arm triangle, and it popped, and then I tapped, and then I stood up. I was like, wow, my neck is completely fixed, and it has never bothered me since.
So he did like a
That's awesome.
chiropractic
Yeah.
adjustment on you
Yeah.
with an arm triangle.
Totally.
That's awesome. It's so funny because we recently had that happen to another one of our students, Corey McCumber. I don't know, his feelings right now are that his shoulder had been slightly dislocated for months and months and months, and the doctors in the armed service branch he's in had been telling him it was something else, and then somebody did something to his shoulder, and it popped back into place with that disgusting bone crunching noise, and now his shoulder's perfect.
Right. Yeah, that just happened.
Just barely happened.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
grappling's cured two guys.
There you go.
Two guys just in our club.
Saving lives.
Yeah, and for you, for those people at home, you're probably wondering, like, if that was his second match, how could he possibly have been in there with this guy who's like a black belt instructor at a Vegas school? But we're super anti-sandbagging, so Andy, even though that was his first tournament, he was already past the, whatever it was, 3-year mark or whatever for the advanced division, so we were like, man, just go advanced, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's not sandbag it.
I don't think I was. I
No.
was at the 2-year, and you guys were like, do advanced. I'm like, all right, how about intermediate? I was trying to negotiate with you, and you're like, nope, do advanced. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Well, we just figured since you had so much wrestling experience
Yeah,
and
yeah, that makes
and the
sense.
grappling like on top of it, that you might as well go advanced. Plus,
Yeah.
it's just it gives you like you're athletic enough and you know enough. Like it gives you like a marker of where you need to be.
Yeah.
Like right from the get go.
I definitely don't regret doing the advanced.
Yeah.
I like how
That's good.
I could see.
And then you're gonna do the Grappler's Quest again this year.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna
definitely.
do this tournament coming up?
Yeah,
The
next
Groundworks
week.
tournament.
Groundworks.
Yep. We'll see how that one goes. I don't know
So,
what to expect at all.
yeah, so the old Muay Thai Institute is now known as Groundworks because they like merge with some CrossFit guys. So it's like CrossFit, Muay Thai,
Yeah.
and grappling now. They're having a tournament down there, which is going to be IBGGF rules, which we do not like at all. But a few of our guys are doing it. Andy,
Yeah, it's just,
Corey, Ty.
It's good to get matches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't do leg reaping, but I could get some experience.
Yeah.
Even if it's just hand fighting or just
Yeah, totally. For you,
takedowns.
yeah, for you guys, I mean, it's like you guys haven't had that many matches, and
Yeah.
any competition is gonna help you. So it's like it's
Yeah.
close, it's cheap. You might as well go do it.
Yeah. Yeah, the tournament's going to be like
That'll be good. That'll
a
give you guys
mile
like,
from our gym.
that'll be give you guys like a good like pre like tournament type thing for Grappler's Quest, and then we can.
Yeah.
If there's anything fucked up with your game, then we can kind of be like, okay, we need to fix this.
Yeah.
This is like apparent.
It'll be
Yeah.
a warm-up competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Should be good. I'm sure there'll be some tough guys down there too.
yeah,
so.
definitely. I think it would
Cool.
definitely get good matches.
There's a lot of Utah guys who are really good, but they never get a chance to compete. So that'll be cool to see. Hopefully, a bunch of those guys will come out.
Yeah, there's some
They're
guys
also,
who
like, tough
only
guys.
compete in Utah, pretty much.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So
That'll be really cool. So what else? How was it? So Andy grew up in kind of a cool place. Well, part of his time growing up, he was in Park City, Utah, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like one of the cool towns in Utah. What was that like going to Park City High School, Andy?
Oh man, it's a bubble.
How
Park
so?
City is just like, it's so, I mean, just geographically separated from the rest of Salt Lake, and
Yeah,
like the closest city, you got to drive through some kind of canyon.
yeah,
So people there, I don't know. I didn't really like high school as much, but the city itself is incredible. I mean, I kind of took for granted back in high school being 5 minutes away from 3 different ski resorts. So it was, I mean, it's a really cool place.
yeah. It's so cool. These guys live at the base of like the Wasatch back basically, and they've got 3 ski resorts like literally like 5 minutes from their front door.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I totally took it for granted though, because when I came down to college freshman year,
Mhm.
all these people from out of state are coming here just to ski. So I ended up going skiing more freshman year of college when I'm 35 minutes away from the resort than I ever did in high school when I'm 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got, it's also the home of the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
Did you guys hate that?
Yeah, the locals hate it when most of the locals do, just because
Yeah.
traffic and everything's busy. But I mean, I like it. I like going and just wandering around, but it's hard. Like some people are like, "Hey, let's go up to Sundance," but they don't have tickets to anything or they don't have any VIP anywhere.
Mhm.
And it's a lot better if you could get like some hookups to some different places. That makes it a million times better.
Yeah, Park City's sort of like the Hollywood of Utah,
It
right?
is, yeah.
The LA,
Yeah,
the hip LA part of Utah.
yeah. I would I agree with that.
Lots of cocaine.
Tons. I never didn't see cocaine when I left the house.
There you go.
There's just like cocaine
It's
out
just
your front lawn,
everywhere.
right?
When they say Utah powder, that's what
Yeah,
I mean.
best snow on
So,
earth.
and Andy and Pat actually are proud graduates of the University of Utah.
Oh yeah.
How-
and you just graduated.
How's
Yep,
the
couple
UVU?
weeks
How's the
ago, a
UVU
week
party
ago.
scene? For if we've got any like 18-year-old listeners getting ready to go to college, and the thing about the University of Utah, because they're in boarding, like how's the University of Utah socially?
It's a lot of snow bros.
Yeah.
Snow bros.
Like a lot of people come in from
Vermont,
out-of-state,
New Hampshire,
yeah,
a lot
East
of
Coast
a lot of
snow
people come
bros.
from like upper.
How many
East
showers?
Coast.
How many showers per week does your average snow bro have?
Jeez, I couldn't even.
How often does he
estimate
shower?
So
one,
low.
one or two. Just like grungy.
Does he smoke more joints in a week, or does he shower more?
Jeez,
Definitely
definitely,
joints.
yeah, definitely more weed,
joints.
definitely.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fact, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
The U's kind of weird because it's a commuter school,
Yeah, that's
where a
one thing.
lot of people drive in, and there's not a ton of people who live on
Yeah.
campus or around campus. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
you got to be kind of in the know to go to like the cool house parties
yeah.
and
Like
stuff.
every school usually has like their street that you party at on the weekends, and then the U. I mean, there's U Street and there's Douglas Street, but because it's a commuter college, you'll only have so many people at a party. But yeah, my last house was a very party house, I guess.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was-
Oh yeah, we went to a party at that house.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. Like I
Yeah.
saw a titty within like 5 minutes of being in the house.
There was a guy with lipstick marks tattooed on him trying to fight everybody.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
I,
that guy.
if I had lipstick tattooed on me, I'd probably not be trying to fight guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that guy was an exception to that rule.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
within like 30 minutes, like I'd seen a titty and like just like random titty showed up out of nowhere, and then some guy tried to fight me,
Yeah.
like all within like the first like 20 or 30 minutes of being at Andy's party. So
Oh man, yeah,
It was
that house
pretty-
was
pretty
not
wild.
okay to live at. It was cool for like 4 months, and then after that, the remainder of the lease was just hell.
yeah,
Just like I don't want to be here. You cannot be productive.
nah.
Who wants some Ace?
Oh, let's try
A little Ace apple hard cider.
a sip. All right, that's good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, but yeah, it was good to get out of there. And then a few months ago, that house actually just got raided by the DEA.
Oh really?
Yep.
What were they selling? Or were they making?
It's just marijuana, I think.
Oh really?
But yeah, they just the story that I heard, I don't know if it's true, but somebody heard a knock on the door, and they go answer the door, and it's just shotguns in their faces, DEA, and they just swarm throughout the house.
Wow.
Yeah, and then one guy got in trouble, no bail for a couple of weeks. They were trying to get him to give information, but yeah, so that's the kind of house that was.
So what you're saying is you lived in a trap house?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Mm. This one has a lot more flavor to it. A lot more
Crisp.
bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more
Way more.
bitterness. Got some bite.
Yeah.
I think that is that malic acid. I think the bitterness is maybe malic acid. I could be making that up though.
Yeah, I think this one beats the other one on flavor right off the bat.
Mhm.
First sip, no question.
Totally. Much better
Our
cider.
founding fathers were big hard cider drinkers.
Were they?
Oh, yeah.
So then, like, if anybody calls you a pussy for drinking cider,
Like, was George Washington a
Right?
pussy?
Was Thomas Jefferson pussy?
boom.
TJ was hitting it so much at Monticello, his little plantation.
Monticello was basically a gigantic, like, magic land for a whoremonger
Was-
like TJ.
Anybody getting more ass than Thomas Jefferson at that time?
Nope.
I don't
Probably
know
not.
how to answer that. Probably not. I wasn't there, but probably.
I'm saying he probably was, and it was all cider. It was all because he had all the cider.
Drinking cider?
He controlled all the cider at the plantation, so of course he gets all the ladies.
Yeah. Cool. Dude, so I don't think we've had a podcast since the Bravo Hoyler match.
No. And it's kind of weird because right after the Bravo Whaler match, like our best listener kind of hit us up about not having a podcast about it. But part of me was like, there were so many podcasts. Every single podcast was talking about that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we'll just be part of the static. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and everybody, I mean, we talk about 10th Planet Eddie so much. Like, I think everybody kind of knows, what we were saying when that match was going down.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself,
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've thought all along.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just cool.
I think it's really interesting the effect that match has had. I think it has like much more far-reaching effects than people realize even right now. Because like all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these threads sort of re-examining the history of grappling in the Gracie family, and like a lot of contradictory evidence. A lot of evidence is very different than the story I think we were all first told. Is sort of popping up. There are a bunch of threads on the Sherdog F12 forum and also on the Underground, and anybody can go look at those if they want to.
Yeah, it's really funny that all this kind of grappling counterculture is really starting to like spring up now, and it's
Yeah.
like it was a watershed moment, and it's kind of funny because you're talking about two old guys relatively old guys who haven't competed in a long time, and it really should be like inconsequential, and it just like nobody should really like care. Your average grappler, it shouldn't change anything, but
yeah, it's weird. It took a match between two guys in their 40s.
see Andy. Okay.
Andy's taking a phone call. It took a match between two guys in their 40s, for people to kind of like re-examine everything they thought. Like along with these threads, sort of re-examining the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like I've seen all these threads, and people are asking about no-gi all of a sudden. Like before, if you had any kind of thread about no-gi, I mean, with exceptions, you'd kind of get like attacked super hard on the forums. People are like, no, you got to do gi.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of ridiculous that we've been like talking about this and advocating for this for like so long, and then it takes this like ridiculous like match, to be like where they're under the rule set there wasn't any winner or whatever, there really was, but it was like all of a sudden I think like all these guys on the edge, on the peripheral of the making up their mind on it, they're kind of like now it's almost gave them like a rationale to like come over to the dark side.
Yeah, man, one thing I really appreciated, I think it was when Eddie was on Rogan's podcast, he was like, you know what, one of the reasons I did this match was because so many guys, like defended me and what I was doing on the internet. I wanted to give them a little more firepower. But if Eddie had never done this match, like we're saying it's ridiculous in the sense that it took this match for people to like re-examine what they've been told and just following that, without questioning it. But man, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. If Eddie hadn't done that match, like I think it's gonna have it really is a watershed moment. It's gonna have big consequences for no-gi and the acceptance of no-gi.
Yeah, it's so funny. I read this thing. I think it was on Bloody Elbow or something today. It was about how Tucker Max, the guy who kind of created the genre of fratire, literary genre of fratire.
I love Tucker Max.
That, like most guys that are involved in like MMA grappling, a lot of them will know who this guy is. Like just from this age demographic of like 18 to 40, guys know who he is. He started training MMA
No shit.
Yeah, he started
Oh, I
training
didn't know
MMA
that.
back in like 2007 or 2009.
What?
So this is a really funny story. So his friend trained at Hickson's, and he was like, "No, I'm good." He was like, like I guess Tucker was going through a weird time, and the guy was like, "You need to come in and train." And so he went in, and he was saying, he's like, "I've always been like pretty fit guy," and he's like, "I thought I would go in there and kind of rule ass on everybody." And he said he just went in there and got his ass handed to him. And he went for like 2 weeks to Hickson's place. And he was like, he's like, I was going there to Hickson's, but he's like, what I really wanted to do is I wanted to do no-gi. And so right then, Legends had opened up with like Boss and Randy and like Mac Danzig and a bunch of guys were down there.
Caro, I think, was kind of mixed up in that.
And Bravo was down there. And
10th Planet, yep.
So he started going to Legends for a long time. He was going to Legends for like a while, like a couple of years.
Wait, is this Tucker or his buddy?
Tucker Max.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he started.
That's
He went to Hickson's. Tucker went to Hickson's as a guest for 2 weeks, and then he went to Legends for like years. And then he eventually moved to Austin, and he just trains like. Sounds like he trains at a Helson affiliate and then a Gracie Humeta affiliate down there. And he says he doesn't like it in Austin. He has to do everything separate. Like he has to go to a gi class, then like a no gi class, then a wrestling class and a kickboxing class, and then like a boxing class. And he was like at Legends, he could just do everything. It was like MMA centric.
Yeah.
And he says now he has to go everything. And like when this interview came out, they were like, "Oh, do you go to a lot of places when you're on your book tours?" And he's like, "Not really. I'm too busy." But he's like, last week, he's like, "I went to Marcelo's place," and when he was in New York.
Right.
So it's like he's like traveling around and going and training places.
That's so interesting. I mean, it's like, for anybody who's read any of Tucker Max's stuff, like you can tell he's kind of like one of these guys who refuses to conform to some societal norms, Like
Yeah.
I think all these guys, it's always interesting to me that all these guys who are outside the box thinkers are the ones who end up gravitating towards no-gi.
Yeah,
There's some weirdos too. Some of y'all are very weird.
totally.
But definitely the outside the box guys are the ones that gravitate towards no-gi,
Yeah.
But I mean, all the stuff I've seen since the Eddie Hoyler match. Like, there's been a lot of interesting stuff on the web because people are starting to think more that way because of that match. Like, I saw these threads about, like George Gracie, brother of Carlos and Elio, training with Lucha Libre guys. Right? I was like, what? That wasn't a part of the story I was told. Training with Lucha Libre guys, and then like. Like Maeda wasn't the only judo/jiu-jitsu guy in Brazil at that time. There was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And they were all there fighting. Taking these challenge matches and like kind of carnival kind of matches, which were the type that Maeda was taking. It's like things are very different.
These are all threads on SureDog, right?
And on the underground now.
Okay, so guys can see this, so they know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you can go read all this stuff. Like, there's so much I'd like to talk about, but it'll
Yeah.
bore the hell out of people who aren't interested. But go, if you're at all interested in like where this whole Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing came from, go read those threads. Like, one of them is called "Carlos Didn't Even Train with Maeda?" ? And it turns out like all the stuff I've seen kind of indicates that's the truth. Maybe Carlos never trained with Maeda. And there's a couple of threads on the SureDog Grappling Forum that have Lucha Libre in the title, and they kind of indicate that, like there was a match between I think it was Carlos and a famous Lucha Libre guy,
Yeah.
and it sounds like Carlos got his ass kicked, and then Carlos and Elio and maybe some of the other brothers, and I'm not stating this as fact, I'm just saying this is what I read on the thread. Like, it sounds like Carlos and Elio and those guys went and kicked this guy's ass in the street, and it sounds like they beat him up with some kind of a metal box. Like, they used a metal box on this guy, and then they were all going to go to jail, right? And this case went to some kind of upper court in Brazil, and the judge was the grandfather of the Machado brothers.
Oh.
And they got off, right?
Dude. Henner's gonna send you like a cease and desist letter. He's gonna be
I'm
like,
not stating any of that as fact.
It's just hearsay.
Yeah, no, it's just stuff I read, but
dude.
you know, it's kind of looking like a lot of things are a little bit different than what we originally,
Yeah.
at least what I originally thought when I heard all these stories.
But the Hoyler point is the Hoyler Eddie match was like this watershed
Dude,
moment.
which tribe that Stella Arc was?
It was like this watershed moment where, you know, everybody's like, these guys, like I said, these guys who are on the peripheral, they're like starting to come around because like it's for some reason it made it okay for them, you know. One funny story is like when Andy had been training for like, God, a year and a half or 2 years or something, and he was like already a beast. We had a bunch of guys who would come up. They trained at a local like BJJ school, and they would come up, and now they train with us. Or one guy trains with us, you know, all the time now, and they would come up. They'd like send little teams up to come up and roll with us. And Andy was seeing all that, and he was like rolling with all these guys and giving them hell. And he's just like a guy who has like a year experience or something, and one of the guys had gotten his purple belt in the last year. This guy from this BJJ school, and we're talking, and he said he was always making a joke. He was always joking about how we were like, you know, anti-gi or whatever. And Andy's kind of sitting off to the side, and he looks at this guy, and he goes, "What's the gi?" Like totally serious.
Honestly,
he goes, "What's the gi?" And like I was so happy at that moment that I had guys who didn't even know what the gi was.
that was a great moment.
Yeah, and this dude who had just got his purple belt, like, you know, had worked so hard and all this stuff, and he was just like, he looks at us and he's like, "Are you guys fucking serious?" He's like, "Are you fucking with me?" He like couldn't believe that this dude had been like training grappling, and you know, he's like giving everybody fits around there, and he like didn't know what the gi was.
Had no idea what the gi was.
And so then like
it was a beautiful
yeah,
moment.
then after that Andy was like endured to my heart after that.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Oh, I got so worried when I said that too, because I saw a big smile on your faces, and I was like, "What did I just say?"
Yeah,
I was like, "What's gi?"
it was pretty.
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
Like
that
I
was fantastic.
thought no gi was one word, and I didn't know what gi was. I just
You just knew you were doing no gi.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm doing no gi."
Yeah.
That's so fantastic, man.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was a fantastic moment for sure. But yeah, it's so cool now. I feel like people should have been thinking rationally about this from the start, you know, and asking questions like, could it be the people telling me the story of the history of this thing I'm doing
Yeah.
are telling me the version of the story that's the most beneficial to them? You know, like, is it logical that I should be training in a feudal Japanese costume
Yeah.
for something that doesn't require the costume? You know,
I kind of liken it to like organized religion.
it's very similar.
It's good for the masses, right? It's like, you know,
Yeah, if you're trying to control them.
exactly. Control them and take their monies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool. Like, I mean, we harp on that enough, but it's like, yeah, it's really funny it took this match, but it was something definitely changed. You know, if you get on the forums, you can see that.
Yeah, things have changed. Like it's pretty subtle, but just, man, there's a different flavor to everything. I feel like people are thinking more critically and more rationally now.
Yeah.
They should have been thinking that way from the start, but now people are. It's great because people are starting to question things. You know, it's awesome. And what's really interesting to me is some of the guys starting these threads that are more, you know, these like sort of critical thinking threads are like guys who are deeply invested in the gi and in the traditional system, which is great. You know, it shows that they're open-minded. So, you know, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got some guys doing the Groundworks tournament coming up, and it's next weekend.
Yep.
A week from tomorrow.
17th, Yep.
Yeah, a week from
And
tomorrow.
then July 4th, 5th, we have the Grapplers Quest tournament down in Vegas.
UFC Fan Expo, Grapplers Quest.
It sounds like we're gonna have like most of our club. I think we're gonna have even better turnout than last year.
Yeah, how many did we have last year? We had me, you, Paige, Andy, Corey McCumber, Cody Lane Jill,
Nick
Nick
Patura.
Patura.
That was it.
Did Wolf come with us?
Oh no, no, Wolf didn't, but Dave Ballou.
Dave Ballou.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
gonna come again. He's gonna go
Yeah.
again, not come again.
So last year we had like 8. I think maybe we can top that this year. So
Yeah, or equal. I know. Yeah, I know Dave's gonna go again, and then Ty's with us full
oh
time.
yeah, that'll be 9.
And then
We'll be able to get a couple more.
do you think we can talk? We can talk David into competing under our banner?
Probably not.
No,
But he might show up.
no,
Yeah.
we'd let him compete under his own jam.
Yeah, no.
We'll also Gracie McNeese, our old student, who's now training with Cobra Kai,
Yeah.
the awesome Cobra Kai gym of
He's
Las
gonna
Vegas.
be in like light heavyweight this year.
Grayson,
Grayson.
he's up a few weight classes.
He's gonna be in light heavyweight this year if he
He's-
doesn't get his shit together.
He's up a few weight classes right now. I hear. I haven't seen him, but I hear he's up a few weight classes.
Me and him had a long discussion the other night. I'm not one to talk because I like the carbs, but yeah, man, yeah, he was like a 150er or 155er or whatever that weight
Yeah,
class
he was
is
pretty light.
down there, and yeah, he's gonna be like, if he doesn't get it together, he's gonna be the light heavyweight guy this year. So it'll be interesting.
I think it's good. I think it's good for everybody. Like I went through my period in law school when I went on the frozen burrito diet.
That's a good diet to be on.
That was the gain some weight diet also.
I'm on that like constantly.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe, I always figure maybe there's guys out there who just like being a little bit bigger. It just feels more comfortable to them,
I probably am one of those guys. I probably, in all right, should weigh like 185.
You know what's funny though? Because the camera is cutting most of you off, I look bigger than you right now.
Dude, I look pretty
You look svelte.
Yeah.
You look svelte right now.
Yeah, so we got that tournament in July, and then Gracie Worlds is going to be in Vegas, so that's a lot easier for everybody to make the trip. So
Yeah.
it's in September, late September, so it's like we should have a contingent go down to that.
Yeah.
And then what's really wild is our gym is growing right now.
The gym's blowing up. It's
The
doing
gym's starting to do
fantastically.
really good.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
That's really
Salt
cool.
Lake Grappling Club. It's only $40 a month. It should be doing great
For
right?
now.
$40 a month.
For now.
Unlimited. We have
Um,
seven classes per week.
Yeah, we're offering.
They're 2-hour classes.
Now we're offering the late night Thursday class,
8 p.m.
8 p.m., 8 to 10. And
There's a
then-
6 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, Monday through Thursday. Free open mat at 4 p.m. on Sunday, and then occasionally you do a Tuesday morning class at
10
like
a.m.
10 or
Yeah,
11.
We've had that. We've actually had that. It was supposed to be a sporadic thing, like every once in a while at first, but it worked out so well. We've actually had it. I want to say we've had that for maybe like 6 weeks straight.
Yeah, and
like
it
we've
just-
had it every time for 6 weeks.
we
so.
basically just had to add that class because guys, they wanted it. They wanted a morning class. It worked
Yeah.
better. So that's cool when you have students who are asking you to add classes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, so the guy who used to come to the 10 a.m. class, he had to go to. He's a University of Utah student. He had to go to Birmingham, Alabama for the summer to work, and I don't mean he had to go. I mean he wanted to, but there was no was for work. But if I've talked to Brandon McCaffrey about this, who is a little bit north of Birmingham, and gotten his input, but. If anybody's training in Birmingham, Alabama, feel free to shoot us a message or something. Because I know Weiser, this guy's name is Ryan Weiser. He was looking for a place to train while he was there. So
Yeah, he's an ex D1 gymnast who's like,
incredibly athletic guy.
yeah, he has like maybe 6 months, and he'll blow you away at how good he is already.
At 6 months of training.
At 6 months of training, he's like a normal guy who's had 3 years.
And he doesn't train that much. Like he's not training.
Yeah, he's not training
4 days a week.
Yeah,
even.
he watches a lot of videos, and he's just a super athlete. He's like only like 155, 160, but he'll roll with anybody. He doesn't care, heavyweights, whatever, and he's not trying to survive or anything. He's trying to tap everybody.
Oh yeah.
And so like anybody who could get a hold of him for this summer, they'd be happy to have him.
Yeah. So hit us up if you're in Birmingham. Send us a message, and we'll send Weiser your way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so everything's going great at the gym. We've got
Yeah.
a bunch of new students. Classes are all full. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's been the cool thing is we're starting to get more guys that we don't know or have any association with that are starting to come in. That's been interesting.
So right now we're drinking
Stella
Artois cider, spelled CIDRE. And actually, I kind of bought it hesitatingly, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Sidra.
I agree.
It's really good.
It doesn't look, even by the label, it doesn't look like it tastes like what it tastes like.
It looks like it would suck, right?
Yeah,
It's good, huh?
but
It's a
yeah,
really good
it's like,
cider.
It's like, I think it's like a honeyweed apple. Like you could taste the apple and then like.
Andy's even calling out what apple they
Oh,
use.
yeah.
Honey wheat apple.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's good.
You know what we got going on here?
Hmm.
Old world craftsmanship.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
saying
think
this is
so.
old world craftsmanship in this bottle of Stella Artois cider.
Yeah, they did it right.
It is kind of like it's weird because that first Utah's first hard cider that we drank the first time, I feel like they were going for a sweet taste, and it sucked.
Right.
And this Stella Artois, it's also a sweet taste, but it's more like a honey instead of a raw sugar taste, right?
The first taste I got was honey, and I was like, or
Yeah.
just a hint of honey. That's why I'm saying honeyweed apple. That's just what I'm saying.
It's pretty badass. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I hope there's no actual wheat in it, or I'm screwed.
Okay.
I'm screwed on the gluten
Yeah.
thing. But
It's gonna
we'll
be
see.
I haven't
interesting.
drank a whole lot of cider, but like so far this is the benchmark.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the best of the three for sure.
Yeah.
Ace, sorry, you're the number 2. Stinger, we appreciate your freshman year effort, but you got some work to do. Less sugar, less raw
Yeah.
sugar. Stinger.
Angry Orchard's pretty sweet usually.
Yeah, that's the crisp apple.
Yeah.
And that one, I kind of question whether Angry Orchard is pure juice. We got two different
Yeah,
Angry
they're,
Orchards.
like,
We got apple
doing
ginger and crisp apple.
Back sweetening with corn syrup.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully not corn syrup. For sure, I would bet you a lot of these, probably not the Stella, but a lot of these are probably back sweetened with juice. If they're back sweetened with corn syrup, if I find out they're back sweetened with corn syrup, I'm gonna be pissed. Yeah, we're gonna be pissed if we find that out.
On
But
the next podcast.
that's right.
Corn syrup in these.
So, Andy, what do you got planned like professionally
Yeah, what do you
now
want to
that
do?
you've graduated? Like, what are you looking for?
Jeez.
Because I know you're selling a little real estate on the
What's
side,
going on in Andy Inc. world?
but this
Yeah.
is like we're in like how many countries are we in now?
Oh God.
We're in a lot.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. It's actually grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
We should talk about what countries we're new in too.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how many people this podcast really reaches. So
All right.
you never know. Like
yeah.
we had Ty on, and he gained 2 new clients from doing our podcast.
No way.
Yeah,
That is
so
awesome.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like-
pretty cool.
tell people what you're looking for, what you like want to go get into.
Yeah, I mean, the day after I graduated, like, that's how long it took for me to feel like a bum, one day. And then I'm like, oh, man, I'm an unemployed bum. So, like, I mean, real estate's cool. It's just always going to be a side thing just because, like, my current clients, I have no ways of really getting a bunch more clients. And even if I did,
It's
I'd
hard,
still
huh?
like to, it's not like my passion. It's not what I want to do
It
for
doesn't.
years and years and
It
years.
doesn't make you hard.
No.
Okay.
just a half chub.
Yeah.
When
Just
you show up
enough,
to closing.
enough to keep you
Yeah,
interested.
but you get that accepted offer and you show up to closing.
But
you know,
not-
it's
Nothing when you walk in a room and you see Travertine Tile. There's no lift. There's like zero lift.
So-
You're not like
Zero lift.
Travertine.
So okay, so what do you want to be passionate about? What do you want to get into, man?
Right now, I've been really looking into consulting jobs just because I like when you're given a problem and you have to find the solution. It's like, here is a company, they're not doing so hot and they don't know why. You have to figure out why and you have to fix it. And so I want to do that with a bunch of different companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking into like bigger consulting companies because if I were to just go into one, like if I were to go into like a single company, they could only have like, it'd be cool to help them out, but I want to just see 1,000 different problems and fix 1,000 different companies and just see like how the world works in different industries.
So like more on the like you want to be more on like the marketing side, right?
Yeah, I think marketing and sales would be a good place to start consulting. But like, I've been looking at these companies and they have everything. I mean, these bigger ones, they're in aerospace and defense, they're in healthcare, they're in like pharmaceuticals, every industry you could think of they consult for. So it'd be cool to start with what I know, which is marketing and sales, and it'd be cool to expand from there and learn.
So basically, you want to be Don Cheadle's character in the TV show House of Lies.
I only saw one episode.
Yeah.
And just because everybody built it up.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, and I hate to say this, but it was kind of like Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I liked the movie, but because everybody built it up so much that there's no movie that could be created that could live up to what I've heard about it.
Yeah. If you already know he sniffs cocaine off a girl's rectum in the first 5 seconds, it's not as effective, right?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody told me that, and then I saw it, I was like, that's it? Like, the guy told me that, he was so excited that he was telling me that, and then, like, I watched it, I'm like, that's
why you can't get spoilers beforehand.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, you gotta be surprised.
So now we got a little Angry Orchard apple ginger. I feel like it's a fairly kind of like blandish, like hard cider, but the ginger is like so strong you can't even tell any characteristic of the actual cider.
Yeah, the ginger comes in for about the first half.
Yeah.
Like if the whole, like all the way through the digestive process is a whole, then half of that is ginger before the apple even comes into play.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
It's pretty interesting. Like, I think they probably used extract because I tried to duplicate a ginger cider using actual ginger I chopped up and put in the fermenter.
Really?
And it's pretty hard to get the ginger to come through. So, you know, they probably did it chemically with an extract, but, you know, good work. It tastes like ginger.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, like tasting foods and drinks and everything, like once you have a taste, if you close your mouth and breathe out, you get, like, close your mouth and then breathe through your nose, your palate, like, is more full. You get more taste. Like, have a sip.
Andy's throwing down some Park City wine tasting knowledge on our
He's like, I'm an apple sommelier.
And then breathe out your nose.
Okay, wait.
He's like, I've been doing wine tasting since I was 12, motherfuckers. You don't know what you're doing.
And then comes all the flavor in your mouth, and you could just, like, different parts get different.
You know what? Yeah, I hate to admit it, but so I kind of fucked up that experiment because I included 2 different variables. I did that weird wine tasting thing where they go,
oh yeah, where they like bubble it a little bit or something
to aerate it.
Oh, okay.
And then I did what Andy said too, and he's absolutely right. I could taste so much more of the ginger in my mouth. It's
and that
crazy.
Works for food, drinks, everything. Because like I love, like, when I'm tasting food, I'll try it, and like right away, you know, you don't get all of it, but if you breathe out, like, all the chemicals come back in your mouth. You got to keep your mouth shut, breathe through your nose, and like the rest of it just fills your mouth with flavor, and you're like, okay, that's like the true taste of this food.
What do you say when people are staring at you this? Or you're just like, Game of Thrones, bitch. I'm the last dragon.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
What's the name of the dragon house? What are they called? The ones that are
Targaryens?
Yeah, Targaryen. You're just like, Targaryen, bitch. I'm the last dragon.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Is it not hard?
Never seen it.
It's probably
I'm like one of the few. I saw
Oh,
one
God.
episode, I think, once.
I watched the
early
first
on.
season, and then it kind of like fell off.
I'm into it, but we
I
don't
like it.
we don't have HBO.
Yeah.
So
We got
I
rid
kind
of-
of got cut off.
We got rid of the TV.
We axed that shit.
It
You
was-
pissed us off,
Yeah,
Comcast.
dude.
You pissed us off.
It's too damn expensive.
Yeah,
That little Targaryen chick though, she's looking pretty hot. Well, you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Ty's in love with her. Ty Watkins is in love with her for good reason. She looks hot as hell.
but you could probably fill like an entire podcast, not just one podcast, but an entire series of podcasts with how much Comcast sucks.
Oh,
you just,
yeah.
you just hop
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
probably hundreds
Yeah.
of podcasts out there already.
Dude.
Just an hour a
Comcast,
day, they hop on.
You got to do better, Comcast.
The only,
better.
the only thing that's worse than Comcast is
Get a little more
FedEx
in
and UPS shipping.
I would
Both of them?
disagree.
I'm a USPS man, like
Yeah.
through and through. Like never lets me down. Like 2 days, you know, get that priority
Yeah.
shit going. Flat rate mailer, every single time. Anytime FedEx or UPS gets involved, shit gets fucked up for me. Every single time. Like I I feel so strongly about this. I would fight you over it.
I've never had a problem with any shipping.
People tell me that. People tell me that. You do a lot of shipping, so with your business, yeah.
But I do go through USPS.
Yeah.
But I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I just learned recently that's kind of crazy that has nothing to do with anything we talked about except the shipping?
Yeah.
Is in Saudi Arabia, they don't have addresses. You can't ship somebody in Saudi Arabia a thing. You can't give somebody an address and have them show up.
Right.
You have to just give directions from wherever they start to your place, no matter where you are.
No shit.
Until very recently, Google gave them all coordinates.
So Google just kind of assigned addresses because they were like, Saudi Arabia, this is ridiculous. Let me just give you guys some coordinates.
Basically, everything was like Western Unions to each other. Not through Western Union, but that's kind of how the style of it was. You show up. Here's my ID. Do I have any packages?
We have Saudi Arabian listeners, so they're gonna call bullshit on this if you're wrong.
My roommate's Saudi Arabian.
Well,
so
actually, Andy, this was a little context. Andy is a little bit of an international traveler.
Oh, yeah.
His dad's, is it okay if I say what your dad does?
Yeah.
Andy's dad's a pilot on Delta, right?
Yep.
And so Andy has these flight privileges, and this motherfucker has flown all over hell.
He goes everywhere.
Yeah, he's gone everywhere, so.
It's fun, yeah.
And his roommate's a really cool Saudi guy, so.
Yeah.
I never know the rules of a podcast. Like when I said that one thing.
It's all up to you, dude. Except for that one. It's like a competition.
Because I don't know what names to drop and what names to keep secret and what things to say and what to keep secret.
I think names are okay.
Okay.
Names are okay. That one thing's like the only thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I hope you can edit that.
No, we're not gonna edit it. We're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about, since we're on the topic of all things international. I can't remember exactly what date our last podcast was, but since January.
Are we in 41 countries? Is that what I'm seeing?
We're in 41 countries because since January.
God damn.
We have had listeners from Indonesia, Poland. Let me just say, I'm so impressed with the level of grappling there. You guys are badass grapplers. And your ladies are hot. Ladies are hot.
Oh, my God.
What else we got? Poland, French Polynesia. I'm so impressed. Somebody in Tahiti?
Jesus
Am
Christ.
I wrong? Tahiti's French Polynesia, right?
Oof, don't ask me.
Somebody surfing Tehupo, pull out their phone and I gotta get some whiskey and chokes while I'm surfing Tehupo. I think that's the right name of that wave. I could be completely wrong though. Sorry, Tahitians. Venezuela. You guys, you're selling us so much oil. You're selling so much oil because you're part of OPEC. You're listening to our podcast just out of pity because you're making so much money selling us oil. Hong Kong, Israel, and Romania. I'm kind of surprised Israel took so long. Romania, I like you guys. You also have the hot ladies. You're good at weightlifting. Seems like a cool country.
I should check it out. I don't know. I've never
Isn't Transylvania in Romania? I'm sure the other Romanians are cursing us right now because that's all any American knows about Romania.
I don't know. I know my company has an office there.
Yeah.
I have to talk to some guys. Our security guys are there, so.
I hear Romania is badass. I heard it's a badass place. Actually, I knew a girl in college from Romania. She was kind of a bitch, but she was super hot. Oh my God, she was super hot. She probably just.
It's sort of
astonishing
that. It's sort of astonishing that there's that 41 countries. Yeah. Even if it's just one person in every one of those countries, I'm amazed.
The fact that they would just.
And we do them so infrequently too that it blows
awesome.
my mind. But yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it very much.
It's good quality, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's great because we don't we're pretty different, right? Every other podcast, they'll have on a guest who's a little bit of a BJJ celebrity or grappling celebrity. We never have guests.
Yeah, we just have people we train with on that are friends, or it's just us talking.
Yeah, I feel like people can kind of relate to that. It's really cool. I love those podcasts too, where they talk to these semi-famous guys in the grappling world. I like those too, but it's also kind of interesting just to talk to a regular grappler,
Yeah, dude, you're just at the beginning too.
Yeah.
That's what's cool. You're just at the beginning, man. You got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
So
plus there's
once I get 500 hours, I'm out.
How many? So we keep track. We've talked about this before, but we keep track of hours at our gym, like hours of training. Instead of having any kind of rank or anything, we just keep track of hours of training. How many hours are you at right now, Andy?
It's above 450, but under 500.
I feel like you're maybe in the 470s.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
probably
Yeah,
right.
that sounds right.
Yeah.
470s or so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Andy's a beast too. I'm not gonna lie. Like
You're
dudes-
kind of like
Andy's a little bit of a beast.
you're kind of like of the students. You're kind of like the grand champion a little bit.
I don't know. Corey took my
Oh, that's
crown.
right.
He took my crown.
Corey got you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's back and forth between me and Corey now.
Yeah. Are you? So is that why you're training more now?
No. It's because I'm out of school.
Andy will somebody will do good against Andy and when he's coming in frequently, and then all of a sudden Andy will start showing up more and more and more. But
He's like, yeah, I need to go home and grab my gear. I'm training tonight. And I'm like, you're training tonight? Why?
So, yeah, dude. So yeah, you gotta regain the crown, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Corey's been rolling really. Actually, everybody's rolling really good lately. It's amazing.
The coolest thing was seeing Corey when he came back. He was training in Afghanistan and stuff.
Yeah,
And so he comes back and just seeing how much better he got from where he used to be.
yeah,
It's I was there when he started too.
yeah.
and you
now
could do
it's
whatever
just-
you wanted to.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
now it's cool because
You didn't train for a
it's-
while,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he tapped you.
Yeah, and it's cool to see him get that much better too. Even
Yeah.
if I didn't get better, it's cool to see everybody
Yeah.
else get better.
Dude, honestly, to me, that's one of the best parts of being involved in grappling, because you see people doing something they want to do, and then you see them progressing in this thing they want to progress in. It's such a cool thing. 'Cause guys are genuinely happy that they're getting better, and you can watch them at every step in the process getting better. It's such a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I think another cool thing is just I'm planning on moving. I don't know where yet, but wherever I end up,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be cool to just find a local gym and go train there. Just because I would never have done that on my own.
No.
After graduation, if I'd never trained or anything, I would never go out of my way to find a gym, and I'd probably never get into it. It was cool to get into it freshman year, and now, I could go meet a whole lot of cool people wherever I go.
Yeah.
What'll be really cool is when you go into some gym and don't tell them you've trained before.
Yeah.
And then you can
They'll be like,
catch some guys.
hey, bro, have you trained before? What belt are you?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
be
question.
I don't have
What belt are you?
I'm like a white belt.
yeah. I'll be
like,
they never even gave me a belt,
You could just be like, first class.
Yeah.
Take it easy on me.
Yeah, Andy's a pretty modest guy, but he's a beast, man. Andy's a beast.
I don't condone sandbagging. I'm the most anti-sandbag guy when it comes to tournaments.
Yeah.
But when
It's
you
really
roll,
funny.
when you roll into
In
somebody
the
else's
gym, it's
gym
funny.
and they have no clue how good you are.
Especially when they say, what belt are you?
Yeah.
Because you can answer that honestly if you're from
Yeah.
SLGC and be
Yeah,
like,
like-
I don't have a belt, bro.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a white belt? No
What
stripes?
what was really funny, I'm not going to say where it was, but we went into some school and we were, I know that
Splash. That's good.
I ran through a couple of their purple belts, and I think I got one of their brown belts, and then their most senior guy who was a brown belt, he kind of got a little bit injured rolling with me, and he was like, so what belt are you guys? And we're like, oh, we just do no-gi, we don't have a belt. And he's like, yeah, you guys are probably blue belt level. And I was like, oh yeah, really? You think so? And he's just like, yeah, you guys are blue belt level. And I was like, this happened a couple of years ago, but it's I already done the majority of my competing. I'd done all the competing except this last tournament. And I was like, oh, okay. I was just like, yeah, all right, buddy. Have fun with your knee. Inside joke. Somebody will get that. Somebody's gonna get that. Somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about now. But
I love it when guys
Yeah.
are like, yeah, in the gi, you'd probably be this belt.
yeah.
And you're like,
yeah. I'm like, cool.
bro, you don't know that
Yeah.
I'm never going to train in the
Yeah,
gi.
never gonna be in the gi.
I have no intention of ever training in the gi.
No, yeah.
This is it. This is what I do.
I think sandbagging when you go to a new school is the funniest thing in the world.
So we're gonna
think
drink.
it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's so awesome, man. Especially when they ask that question, like, what belt are you? It's so cool. We actually, it's kind of interesting. I don't know all the details of this yet, but we had somebody who trained with us for a long, long time. He's a really good guy. He was training. He moved to another state, and it sounds like he started training with some new gym where he moved to, and they've already asked him to be an instructor.
Who's that?
I don't want to say the name because I don't want to.
The rules
Like,
of the podcast.
I don't
You
wanna
can't
throw-
always say
no, I
people's
don't throw it out there.
names.
Yeah.
Who? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the details. Like I don't know where he's training or anything. But I got this message saying
Cool.
that this
Is that
new
what
gym
that
he's
message
training
was
at.
about?
Yeah.
It got cut off, and I only got the last like 3 messages.
That's because the other part was on text. But
Yeah,
yeah. So
so
apparently they
I
asked him
know
to be an
I
instructor
know
at
what
whatever BJJ gym he's
Okay.
training at now.
We'll have to
Which
have
was-
him announce that or something.
Yeah,
next
which was awesome. But
yeah. Dude, yeah. Dude, so funny.
So what's this one?
So now we're drinking. So technically we're drinking something that has a really stupid name.
Woodchuck Perry.
Technically this is called Perry because it's pear cider. This is not apple cider. We're drinking
Okay.
Woodchuck pear hard cider.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because right away I was like, it tastes a little watery,
Yeah.
but I think it was just the pear. It was the pear flavor coming in to
Yeah.
replace the apple. Yeah.
It's really different, right? It's
It
really
is.
different flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, never. This is the first time I've ever had pear cider.
We're drinking all
It's not terrible.
your pussy type lady drinks tonight, according to some. But actually, it's like, man, here's my thing on it. In North America, we got a lot of apples. In temperate climate spots, not in Miami. Not in, maybe not in places where it's more of a Mediterranean climate, but in places like Utah, we don't have a lot of grapes.
Yeah.
We don't even really have that much grain for beer, but we do have a lot of apples. I feel like that's kind of what was going on when our founding fathers created this great country of ours. No, it's not. It's not really about being American. This is like I feel like it's good to like, it's like it seems like it's for some reason it's most appropriate to consume things that are like natural to where you live, right?
Yeah.
And like apples are natural to Utah, so I feel like it's like
Yeah.
pretty appropriate we drink fermented apples.
Yeah. I
So
would agree with that.
pears too. We have pears too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just like at my age, I'd like to try everything and then decide what I like.
Yeah, like Andy just graduated from college.
That's good.
If you go to the average party thrown by a sorority girl, the natural thing there is cranberry and Stoli.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What do girls your age drink?
Ah, jeez. It depends on the girl. Some girls swear they like beer, and it's like,
Really?
like maybe they do, but it's like it's very rare. And then like a lot of girls like cranberry vodkas,
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of girls. Most of the girls I know stay away from beer. And,
Okay,
they
that's my
only
experience,
drink
too.
it as
My
a very
experience,
last
too.
option, or if it is
Okay.
the last option, they won't drink it.
Okay.
But yeah, they're very open to basically all hard alcohols. They don't usually like whiskey
Yep. Oh,
unless it's like Fireball whiskey, which is not
Oh,
whiskey.
yeah.
Don't ever they should not call that whiskey.
how about so I went to grad school in the South in Virginia.
Yeah.
And girls down there were kind of amenable to whiskey sours. Do girls in Utah drink whiskey sours or not?
I haven't seen a girl drink.
Okay,
whiskey
that's what I
sour.
thought. My impression was I've never seen a girl in
Yeah.
Utah drink a whiskey sour, but in the South, girls will drink whiskey sours.
I haven't seen a whole lot of whiskey sours around, like in general. I don't.
Because
usually-
guys don't really drink them,
Yeah.
and if the girls don't drink them, they don't get drank.
Right. So
Okay.
I haven't seen a whole lot of whiskey sours.
So what else do girls drink?
Ah, jeez. I'm trying to think. What do
University of Utah girls, what do they drink?
they usually go. I mean, when they go to frat parties, they just drink whatever, whatever the jungle juice there is. So
Whatever's free, right?
anything fruity, free with alcohol in it.
Okay.
Yes, that would be good. That would be a good cover most of the bases.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about do they take tequila shots or no?
Yep.
Really?
I think I am one of the guys that like. I'm definitely an advocate of tequila. I'm like a lot of my friends hate tequila, and
Yeah.
I think I like tequila more than most guys I've met.
We used to drink tequila when I lived down in further down in Sugar House.
Yeah.
We used to drink tequila before we went to those. Were you there on those deals where we would drink tequila before we went to the concerts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Tequila. I was drinking a lot of tequila during that time.
Yeah, I like straight tequila is
Yeah.
okay, but like if there's a tequila and a lime, I'm not even a huge fan of the salt. I don't
Yeah.
care about the salt.
Same.
As long as there's a tequila, like as tequila and a lime.
Yeah.
Oh, all day. And the tequila drunk is just like such a high energy social drunk. It's like you will go meet anybody anywhere.
Tequila's awesome. Like
Yeah.
if you got a decent, we've talked about this before on the podcast, but decent reposado tequila, not the bullshit silver tequila, not the gold tequila. Look up Mexican classifications for tequila, and you'll understand that those are bullshit marketing terms. We've got reposado tequila, and what's the other one? When tequila is even older than reposado, what do you call it?
Oh, jeez. It starts with an A, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, totally.
No,
I can't believe I forgot
it's
this.
not agave. That's the
That's the plant.
Right.
Yeah, I know. What's
It's,
the
Azul.
No. That means blue. That means blue, I
Oh,
think.
jeez. This is gonna kill me if I don't.
Añejo.
Is it?
Yeah, añejo.
Okay.
Añejo is like the really old tequila,
Yeah.
and reposado. I believe those are the only two terms under Mexican law that can be applied to tequila. And the
Yeah.
gold and silver stuff, that's just bullshit.
Is it not aged or is it?
Yeah.
Silver is not aged.
Okay.
Gold is a mix of silver and reposado.
Okay.
So I mean, basically, like Jose Cuervo couldn't call it reposado, so they invented this gold term.
Oh, okay.
It's bullshit marketing.
I got you.
And the silver thing just means it's straight out of the goddamn still.
Yeah.
So nobody should be drinking it, but
Yeah.
that's a whole other-
Ever since you taught me that, I never buy anything but reposado now.
Yeah.
if I'm getting.
it's
tequila.
so much better, right?
It is. There was one brand, I don't remember what it was. I would tell you if I remembered because it was such garbage, but it was a reposado.
Yes, I mean some of them suck.
Yeah, but one of my friends, he totally went against me on it because I was teaching him what you taught me about, the reposado versus the silver. And I
Yeah,
was like, no, you have to get, the aged stuff. And he's like, no, I like the silver stuff. He gets the silver. I get this garbage reposado.
oh
And his
yeah.
tastes way better. And I was just like, oh man, just totally discredited forever.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, and that I guess that is really true of all fermentation and distillation. If you start with shitty stuff, it doesn't matter how long you age
Yeah.
it. It's going to be shitty in the end.
Yeah.
So,
And so that guy's going to be drinking silver his whole life.
he'll never
Even
know.
though he knows, I mean, I taught him, and then I got the garbage stuff. If it was the same brand, and he got silver and I got a reposado, then it would be different. But I got a way shittier brand, and ruined.
Brutal.
I
He'll never
know.
learn.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
He'll never
backfired.
learn. So, okay, so that's kind of interesting.
So yeah, whoever's distilling it definitely trumps whether it's aged or not, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, you can make really bad stuff. You can
Yeah.
make really bad stuff throwing it in a super nice barrel, whatever
Yeah.
kind of super fancy oak barrel for whatever age. If it's shitty to start with, it's not going to come out fantastic. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what else is going on? What else we got?
In the world or with?
Yeah. What else is going on in Andy world? This is the Andy
Oh,
podcast.
jeez.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go. I mean, Pat here just taught me how to shoot a bow and arrow
Oh God, yeah, this is a good
Yeah.
topic. So these
just a
guys
few hours ago.
engaged in a little archery.
Yeah.
Now we're practicing.
How did that go? Yeah, describe that, you guys.
Andy's really good. I kind of knew he would. He's one of these fuckers who's good at whatever he does. So Andy was like, first arrow, like it was so funny because we were using like two different types of arrow rest, and the one I use, you want to put the what they call, I think it's called like the cock vein. There's 3 veins. One's called the cock and 2 are called the hen.
You're fucking with us.
No, I'm not.
It's called the cock vein.
Yeah, the cock vein, right?
You have a non-sexual activity that involves something called the cock vein.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
that vein is placed a certain way in the arrow rest, and so on mine, the cock vein goes up. On the arrow rest,
No, you're fucking with us.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
totally
not,
fucking
I'm not,
with
I'm
us.
not, I'm not.
The cock vein goes up.
Yeah, and then
Okay, I'm gonna play along.
and then on the one that Andy bow that Andy was shooting, the cock vein goes down. So I was telling him, I was like, you wanna like make sure this goes up. So he's still like he's fucking drilling the target too, and then like halfway through, it's like stripping off the fletchings, the actual arrow veins, and I'm like, oh fuck, I fucked up. So we corrected whatever, but Andy was just like he was drilling my target, and dude, he was hitting headshots at like 30 yards.
Long story short, put the cock vein up, commence drilling, headshots.
Boom, headshots. I got video.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I saw the pictures earlier. They're not fucking with you guys. I saw pictures earlier, and dude, Andy was shooting. Pat has this like super cool 3-dimensional deer target, and Andy was throwing arrows right through the head of the deer. Dude, can you pull it up on your phone? Maybe the camera can pick it up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But it was funny. Like we were shooting, and this guy like we're shooting at this deer target, and it's tiny, and there's this guy just comes out of the woods. We're in this like random meadow. And this guy just like comes right out of the woods. We're like, who's this guy? Like we were shooting kind of in his direction, so we stop and like readjust. And this guy comes over, and he's just like collecting mushrooms. And I guess I never knew that was a thing. You could just go out in the wild, and if you know what mushrooms aren't poisonous and taste good, then you could just put them in a bag and be on your way.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you must have a related story, right?
Our 10th Planet listeners, we love you guys, but I know you're thinking, he's talking about collecting the mushrooms that are, I think they're red and white. What do we call those ones?
Oh, jeez, Pat would know. We talked about it's the ones you cook with, though. It's not the like psychedelic or.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the red and the fancy psychedelic ones, but no.
Yeah.
Like in Utah, like the kind of places you guys go shoot bows, they're kind of high elevation, a little bit high elevation, and like a lot of people go and collect these mushrooms just for cooking and eating and stuff. And I actually had a long conversation one time with a Southeast Asian lady who was related to somebody I was dating, and there's kind of an art to this collecting mushrooms thing. Like you're supposed to, be up on all the mushroom identification stuff, and then like a lot of people even take the mushroom and then like put a piece of paper under it and they tap it to let the spores fall down, and they look at this pattern of the spores, and then they can tell if it's poisonous or not.
Yeah, we're talking about the mushroom.
Yeah. So it's kind of complicated. Like you can't go out in the woods and just collect mushrooms because you might eat one of the many variety of mushrooms that are referred to as death caps, and there's some other kinds that aren't technically death caps, but they're also deadly. So you gotta be kind of careful. But these people who are good at collecting mushrooms, I kind of envy them because they're eating a bunch of shit that you and I would have to pay like whatever, like $20 a pound for in the store, and they're eating this shit organic for free, and it's really tasty.
Yeah.
This guy had
a huge one.
He had a gigantic oyster mushroom, and then he had some morels.
Really?
Yeah, it looks super good. It was funny.
We know a place in the Uintas where you can get mushrooms the size of basketballs.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was
I'm gonna
saying.
have Max pick me up, so I guess I can drink with you.
Cool.
Because I was so hungry when I started.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Past the point of
dude,
driving,
that guy walked up us and he was just kind of sitting there, and then when he came up on us, he told me that he thought my deer target was real. He was like, I thought it was real, and I was like, yeah, you thought we were up here like poaching a doe or something? Like,
yeah.
He was like, whoa, and I was like, yeah.
Like, not even like a full size doe.
Yeah,
like a baby.
It was like a
doe.
baby female deer looking target because it's a small whitetail target. It's like the cheapest 3D target you can possibly buy.
Yeah.
So it's super small, and this guy thought it was real from a distance. He thought we were just like fucking this deer up.
Yeah. He came out and stared at it for a while.
Yeah, he was like,
back in.
Yeah, he stared at it and he like went back in the trees, and then he like came out and he like just staring at us.
He was like stalking.
Yeah.
I like waved at him, and I was like, like get the fuck out of the way so I don't like pierce your like torso.
He took a very wide angle too to not scare the fake deer.
He like took his time, and then he finally came over, and he had this like brown paper bag, and I was like, oh, mushroom hunter.
You knew immediately what
I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, you got some mushrooms? He's like, oh yeah.
Dude, what do you call the Santa Claus mushrooms?
Muscadaria or something.
Oh yeah.
Some fucking
something don't they euphemistically refer to them as something fly mushrooms? Like,
I don't know. They're called
those are your psychedelic mushrooms.
yeah. I forget exactly what they're called, but it's like
There's all this cool stuff about how, if you like research that, there's all this cool stuff about how they think that's why Santa Claus is like red and white, because mushrooms are red and white, and also the mushrooms in Mario Brothers,
yeah.
the ones that I forget which ones they are.
Amanita muscaria.
Yeah, Amanita muscaria.
Yeah.
Also, the ones in Mario Brothers are that color because those are the magic mushrooms. And the guy who created Mario Brothers used to explore caves when he was a little kid, and he knew about the fucking mushrooms. It's really interesting. It may be all bullshit, but it's really interesting to read, you know?
Yeah.
Dude.
What kind is this?
Okay,
Is this
so
just
that's
the new one?
No, that's all Perry, but actually this crisp apple is really good. The Angry Orchard. So just so people, you guys who are into brewing, you're gonna point out, I'm sure, Angry Orchard is owned by a macro brewery. I forget which one. I think it's owned by like Miller. We know.
I used to drink Miller High Life like a fiend in high school. That was my drink.
Why would you not drink the champagne of beers? Isn't it the champagne
The
of beers?
champagna of
Yeah.
beers.
Why would you not drink? It's champagne. It's champagne.
And
That's a
what
formal drink.
people don't understand is in Utah the beer is the alcohol level is so low that you can, like, when you're like a burly like 18-year-old young man here, you can like drink like 20 Miller High Lifes because it's like water.
Pat has a friend who one time drank how many 3.2 Utah beers?
He drank like 39 or 40. Like I watched it
in
happen.
one night.
He's like a 300-pound dude.
But he has no ass.
Yeah, no ass. He looks like a gigantic cotton hill or something.
King of the Hill, Cotton Hill, King of the Hill.
But
Hank
yeah,
Hill's
he drank like 39 or 40 Miller High Lifes in a night, and like I watched it happen, and I tell people that story, and they're like, no fucking way, that never happened, and it's always people from out of state who like doubt the validity of that story because they don't realize that the beer here is so weak, and
There's only 75% as much alcohol, so
yeah, so it's like
No.
you know. And if you're anywhere else, God, you drink, they could drink 30, but it's still, it's like if you met somebody who could drink 30 beers in like, 5 hours, 6 hours, it's pretty fucking impressive either way.
yeah.
So,
How do you guys like Pat's hat? He's got on the Viking Tactics hat. Pat, is this a company? Are Vikings making swords and
dude,
stuff?
basically,
Or
that's
what?
a company that's owned by like a ex like Delta Force guy, and he makes like gun stuff, and he does like a training school, and he does like all sorts of big guns parts and merchandises them.
Let me just read you guys a brim, right? You may not be able to see it, but right here it says, "Trample the weak, hurdle the dead."
Yeah.
These guys are some serious Viking
It
motherfuckers.
was a gift, and it fits good. So
It's a good looking hat. I like
yeah,
it. It's a good looking hat.
but
Okay. Oh, Andy's recruited a driver
Yep.
who's also a fellow who trains at both SAMA, the University of Utah Club,
Yep.
and
Hasn't been showing up a lot lately.
SLGC. He hasn't shown up to SLGC in a long time either.
Yeah, he probably hasn't trained in like maybe twice in the last year.
Mr. Mac Shamosis.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy though.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a super cool guy.
Yeah. He'll swing by in a little bit.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Could I get to try that the Angry Orchard?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude,
we know it's a macro brew.
how are you liking the
You don't need to tell us, you crazy motherfuckers.
this battery life on this HTC Windows phone?
I haven't had a problem with it yet.
Yeah.
Like on the one I had before that was the Evo, and that one would die within a day.
Yeah, so like when I first got mine, like I wasn't closing out all the windows, and I was like leaving games running and shit, and my battery would like die in like 6 hours.
Yeah.
I just thought I got like the one shitter phone
Yeah.
that they sent out, or I'm sure they sent out a bunch, but I was like complaining to my bosses when I started my job. I was like, yeah, this phone shit you guys gave me, the battery dies, and my boss was like, he's like, here, let me see it, because he had the same phone, and he was like, yeah, dude, you got like a bunch of like shit running, constantly that eats up the power, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not bad. It'll last for a while.
Yeah, I like it. And jeez, I had something to say about it, but then I forgot.
Camera's good, video's
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of going towards more. All I want is a phone that lasts like at least a whole day,
Right.
one charge, and then like doesn't drop calls and doesn't, like, you know, and that's
Yeah.
part of the service provider too. But I feel like from going from the Evo to this without the service provider changing, which is Sprint for this one, I think there's something internally in the phone that has worse coverage.
Well, it's because Sprint is through AT&T cell towers, right? When they
I'm
have
not
the-
sure how it works, but what I did learn about Sprint is that they are rehauling everything. So these past like 3 to 6 months
Yeah.
have sucked with their coverage, and I don't know if that just happened to be at the same time I got this phone, or this phone internally has a problem, because about 1 in 10 to 20 texts
Yeah.
will just not send. It'll say can't send, retry.
Yeah.
You could hit retry all day and it will not send.
Yeah, dude. The
Dude.
thing is, though, is like, man, if you want like good like coverage and man, just like good like actual service, it's like, dude, just get Verizon.
That's what, yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
like me and Jack had Verizon for years and years and years,
Yeah.
and then like I got switched over to AT&T for this work phone, and like it's
Yeah.
just worse. It is what it is, you know. It's not like nobody's debating it. You
But
know?
if you have Sprint and you fuck up and you are like not with your girlfriend and maybe you're with someone you shouldn't be with because you have a girlfriend, you just tell her like, hey
I
baby,
have no
I had
I
Sprint.
have Sprint.
I have Sprint.
That should be their new
I
ads.
could not respond. I
Yeah.
could
Sorry,
not
I
respond
had
to you,
the new
girl.
Sprint Windows phone.
I was crying. I wanted to respond to you so hard. I was responding
get
so
any
hard.
I borrowed somebody's phone, but I didn't remember your number.
We were in a dead
Sprint
spot.
wouldn't even
we were in
help
one of
me.
those dead spots that
Fuck a Sprint.
famous for.
Fuck a Sprint for not
Sprint is
helping
for
me out.
players.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wrote them letters. I wrote the CEO a letter, girl. I was so angry.
I've
Oh,
been,
man.
you know what's weird is as I got older, I would never think of doing this, but like now that I got older, you know, like I'll write companies, mainly emails, right? And I'm not the type of guy. I never thought I was the type of guy to do this, but like all of a sudden, like in the last couple of years, like if I buy something from a company and something gets fucked up, and I'm like pissed about it, I'm like, hey, I paid money for this, like. I'll write the company. And what I found out is like a really useful strategy is like figure out who the president of the company is,
Yeah.
or like the CEO, or, you know, and this only works with like smaller companies because you're not going to find out if it's a huge company, but like somebody high ranking, like, and do some internet sleuthing and find out that guy's personal email address through various public records. It's possible. And then hit that guy up and be really nice and be like, you know, I'm sorry to, you know, contact you through your personal address, but I feel like I should go to the top for this. And, you know, I wanted USPS and you guys sent it FedEx, and now I'm waiting too long for my package. But no, but I've started doing this, and the results are awesome. And like I hope I'm not turning into some prick who's trying to get free things, because I'm really not. I just want I want to get what I pay for.
Right, yeah.
Do you Happy Gilmore them though?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, you send him a nice message and you're like, hey, Mr. CEO, I just want to let you know there's a problem with your company.
Exactly.
But then if he doesn't respond, you're like, you dirty cunt!
No.
And then if he doesn't respond that one, you're
No.
like, I'm so sorry, I just got angry.
I love you, baby.
I love you, baby.
I hope you fucking die. No, I'm.
Can you grab that? Grab that.
Yeah, no, I'm just cool. All it takes is like one email, and a lot of times the CEO or whoever you contact, they will not respond. Almost 100% of the time, they will not respond to you. But there will be immediate action to fix whatever the problem is. Like immediate, like
And that's all you want,
Yeah.
really,
that's
right?
that's all
You
I
just
want.
want
Is
the
like
problem
just take care of the
fixed.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't want like a credit. I don't want to get it for free. Like.
Yeah.
You don't
I-
want a personal video apology
No,
from the
no,
CEO.
I don't
you
want
just want
anything-
this shit fixed.
Yeah, I just want the shit fixed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I was younger, when I was like 21, 22, whatever, I would have never have dreamed of doing that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck that, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, like let it be. But then I got older, and like
And it works.
I realized what it meant to like have money, to like
Yeah.
earn money,
Yeah.
and the value of it. And I was just like, no, fuck these guys. Like somebody's gonna get in trouble over this. Shit's gonna happen. So it's like really weird. But yeah, seriously, if you ever have a problem with a company, like go up as high as you can
Yeah.
and find out their personal email address. Like find their Hotmail account or their Gmail account and just hit them up and be really cool about it. and I guarantee you're gonna see results.
Yeah, if they even have like a half decent manager,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
Because any manager will be like, okay, what's best for the company? They're like, we need to retain this customer.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do whatever he wants us
Oh
to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's what we did with the lasers too. Because like it was funny because my business partner's like, no, like no refunds, nothing. And I'm like, well, you know, we sell lasers. So if we sell a laser and it ends up being
Shitty,
defective or
yeah.
something, whatever could go wrong with it, they paid for a working laser. They should get a working laser.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just how it is. Like whether we lose money or not, it's like
Yeah.
they paid for what we're selling, and like we have, you know,
A responsibility to give them
Yeah,
what they paid for. Yeah.
exactly.
It's just
And
it's
it's like-
called being a decent human
Yeah,
being.
and
is
then
what it's called.
Comcast
Yeah.
is just like fuck everything.
Like,
Like
yeah.
we're just, if you call us, we'll just, you know, send
Yeah.
you. And they don't send you on a hierarchy. They send you like in a circle of
Oh,
salespeople.
dude.
I,
On
I,
God.
my birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
On my birthday, so they had like hit me up for the upgrade. They hit me up for the upgrade, and they were like, I was like, cool. And then we got the upgrade, and there's no fucking channels, nothing what they promised.
Jeez.
No HBO, no Showtime, no Skinamax. I was like,
How dare you, Comcast?
no Skinamax. I was like, fuck
how dare
this.
you?
So I got really pissed. It was my birthday, and I was like, fuck these guys. I'm gonna stay on the phone as long as it takes.
Oh,
So I started over in India.
oh,
And then I got
Jesus.
sent to like Florida, and then it went on and on for like an hour and 45 minutes. Finally, I got some chick in Texas who was supposedly a manager, and she gave me everything I wanted
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
with
That's
no
good.
with no
But, like-
upsell, no extra money. She gave me everything I wanted.
That sucks that you have to go through all that.
Oh,
though.
dude, it was like 2 hours
There
of
is-
just being a dick, and I'm just like going, I want you to escalate this call.
Yeah.
I want you to escalate this to your manager. I was that
There is-
motherfucker.
There is.
For like 2 hours, escalate this to your manager, to multiple people. I had like, you know, like this some fucking guy.
Thank you, Paula Esposito.
Yeah,
I only know about Game of Thrones because of you.
yeah.
There
Just
is
kidding, that wasn't really her
no amount of money you could give me on this planet that would have me contact Comcast on my birthday.
Yeah.
It's just there's no amount.
I was pushed to my limit, dude. I was pissed about it. I was like, fuck these guys. They, you know, they sold me on this. I was like, they're gonna give me what they told me they were gonna
Yeah.
give me.
That was cool. We got basically the Game of Thrones
We got
package
yeah, we
for
got
like
fucking-
6 months.
Yeah,
for
we got
free.
we got it for 6
Nice.
months. Then they raised the price.
I wouldn't
and
even know about Game of
canceled.
Thrones if it wasn't for that chick in Florida.
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
it
nice.
fucking took forever, but it was worth
Mm.
it. Yeah, now
Was
they
it
get-
was it a Cuban chick?
No, it was
I
it
feel
was a
like-
country like honky chick.
Whenever I call Florida, whenever I'm talking to anybody in Florida, if she sounds at all hot, I just imagine she's like a super hot Cuban chick. You know what? Am I the only one who does that?
No, I could see that. I
But
don't see how they'd be anything but, right? You know?
I swear to God, every girl on the phone in Florida is a super hot Cuban chick. At least in my
Even if you
mind.
work in a call center in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of Cuban bitches working in call centers in Florida.
And doing everything else because there's not. Okay, we're being horrible stereotypers here.
Um,
I'm just saying in my mind, every girl I talk to in Florida who sounds hot is a super hot
Yeah.
Cuban chick. So.
I'm kind of interested to see how adding video to the podcast.
I think it's gonna be good.
That's
So
kinda cool.
speaking of the video stuff, you guys can see Pat's elk in the background. We've talked about that in previous podcasts. That's an elk that Pat shot. How long ago? Last September.
Yeah, in September.
Last September. We got the head skis. Utah's a big skiing state, so we're big into skiing. Got my head Mojo 105s. Those are awesome skis. We got 3 flagpoles back there. I don't think you guys can see. You guys can see the tip of the longboard, like right there. Longboarding,
Yeah.
much pleasure.
This
Much
is
pleasure
our
longboarding.
quiver of toys.
Here's the microphone. You guys have heard it every
Accomplishments.
single podcast on.
Yeah,
Yeah, so.
dude. Yeah, that'll
What's
be.
that new one?
Oh yeah. Okay. So this was kind of weird.
Andy's like, give me some of
I'm
that.
getting a ride.
So this is
Let me get in there.
this is
Test
wood,
some of that out.
this is
for you.
woodchuck amber. This is woodchuck amber.
Was the other one the woodchuck pear?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
woodchuck pear cider. Pear cider is technically called Perry. Stupid name, but
We should call this podcast the House of Pear.
House of Pear.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Pear was a very
How about
unmemorable one.
Andy's,
Yeah, it was.
Andy's House of
That's the
Pear.
point.
Andy's House of Pear. I don't like it. It was unmemorable. It was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far we're calling this. I think I titled it as Andy, but
neat. That works.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Tell some stories. Tell a good story.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Andy-
Something crazy.
Wait,
Okay, so just so you guys know,
Someone has to spark my memory.
Yeah.
Andy is a dater of beautiful women. That's for sure. Tell us some lady stories.
Dude, I can't because I'm kind of with
You'll
my
get-
girl right
Oh
now.
yeah,
so
Andy.
it's like-
Andy has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Has a
once
girlfriend,
I
right?
Who's
don't have a
also
girlfriend,
very
I'll-
beautiful and very nice. She's a very nice girl.
yeah.
So no,
But-
no lady stories.
Can't she like not understand English, so she won't hear this?
No,
in
she
English?
speaks very good English.
I think she moved here when she was like 1. So
What?
I don't know how much.
No,
I was
I don't know,
lied
she's-
to.
she's
I
a
was
very,
lied to.
she's a very lovely and nice Serbian girl.
I thought
very
you,
lovely and
I
nice
thought you
Serbian
dated
girl.
her because she didn't speak any English or anything.
No, she totally does, dude. She's really
I'm trying
nice.
to think if that was.
That was
chick,
Ty.
but-
That was Ty and his Turkish
Oh,
girl,
that was when
yeah.
Ty was
Yeah.
dating the Turkish chick. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No, Andy's
Yeah.
girlfriend is very lovely. Speaks flawless English, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can't.
She's
I
awesome.
can't tell you any chicks to. I do. Some come to mind though, but I can't tell them. Not today.
Okay, when you guys break up, we'll
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you back on,
That's
and
fair.
you can tell the good
What
stuff.
Yeah.
if Andy's girlfriend is listening? What he told me was that he didn't want to tell you, but he was a virgin before he met you. He was saving himself for you.
Yeah, right.
He was saving himself for you. So just know that you're special.
It's hard to straight face that. It's hard to straight face that.
Yeah.
Saved himself for you. You're special.
Andy gets a lot of poon.
So dude, I'm actually like
Real-
this is kind of like Woodchuck Amber is kind of like I feel like that was kind of like an important hard cider, commercial hard cider for the U.S. But actually, after drinking the rest of them, I'm pretty disappointed.
It
Yeah.
kind of has the same aftertaste as the pear one,
Yeah.
which is the best part of the pear one. But the rest is apple. Apple. I think just the nature of the fruit, apple has more flavor than pear.
Yeah.
That's why the pear one felt so watered down.
I feel like there's kind of like this cloying sweetness, though. It's like that unpleasant cloying sweetness that like clings to your entire mouth afterwards. You know, it's like it's nice if you just drink an amber woodchuck all by itself, but after drinking the other ones, like
Yeah.
I would rather
I
have a
agree with
gulp
that.
of the.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'd rather have a gulp of the Stella.
The Stella is
Than,
like the,
amber
the
woodchuck.
enhanced version of
It's
this.
by far the winner.
Because they kind of
Yeah.
have the same phases of taste,
Yeah,
but the Stella is just such better quality.
and it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, you guys ran through seven different ciders, so
Yeah.
so Stella wins out out of 7 different ciders. That's
That
pretty
blows
good,
my
man.
mind.
Yeah.
When I could drink beer, I was not a fan of Stella at all, even though I wanted to be. Like I tried to like
Mhm.
it so many times. But actually, the Stella cider, I'm gonna do a little research.
I just didn't think it would be good. I saw a commercial for it, and I was like, oh, cool. They're making a cider now. More ciders being brought to the market. I was like, cool. But I was like, I'm probably not ever gonna drink that one.
So for you brewers, the ingredients of the Stella cider are water, apple juice concentrate, dextrose, water, sucrose. So it's not the fact that it's concentrate sucks. The fact they're adding dextrose and sucrose sucks. Natural flavor, which could suck under the FDA definition of natural flavor. Malic acid, sodium citrate, natural colors. It all sucks on the ingredients, but it's
When you combine all of
It's
those shitty
good.
ingredients in the way that they did, what was
hand-picked apples. It says right on the label, hand-picked apples.
Concentrated
There you go.
though.
Fuck, maybe they're organic apples and there's some kind of special apple. I don't know, but the shit's good.
As far as ingredients, which one's the best? Like if you were just to base it off ingredients without tasting it,
One of these. Let's see. Let me.
is there like a
So
full
I think the Utah one actually. It says apple juice, water, sugar, yeast. So when you make cider, sometimes you add sugar to boost the OG. So in brewing or cider making, the OG is the original gravity. That's like how many fermentables it has in it to begin with. Like, and it indicates like how much alcohol you're gonna get out of it. But if this just said apple juice, water, and yeast, that would be perfect. That would be what I'd really expect from a real cider: apple juice, water, and yeast. So, yeah, man. Ingredient-wise, the Utah Hive Winery one needs some work, but I'm glad there's a Utah hard
Yeah,
cider
I
now.
just like there's more options. I mean, instead of just having like Strongbow and like Woodchuck being the
Hell
only
yeah.
options at the liquor store.
Dude, so one of the instructors from the Solid Grappling Club moved to Victor, Idaho, and went to work for this awesome brewery.
Yeah, Teton. Is it Teton Valley Brewers?
I think it's
Brewery?
called Teton Valley Brewery.
Yeah.
But I can't drink beer anymore, and I don't think we get any of their beer here in Utah.
Yeah,
currently.
I've had one of their beers.
Yeah,
It was good.
I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hear it's fantastic. So
Really good.
if you're in the store, look for Teton Valley Brewing and know that is made by Grappling Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I think I think doing the video will probably help us do more of them.
Yeah, you know what we look like now, so you know we're not.
Yeah, and if anybody at the local Groundworks tournament or Grappler's Quest, listens to the podcast, come up and talk to us.
Yeah, say what's up. We'll be wearing probably Solid Grappling Club stuff.
Yeah,
but
no, I love it when people come up and tell me they've listened to the podcast. It's the coolest thing in the world. We've actually
say what's up.
We've actually gotten a couple students off of guys coming into our open mat from the podcast, which is the craziest thing in the world.
So weird. So
that,
weird.
people I don't know at all will like listen to this podcast and then come in and want to train with us.
Yeah.
So definitely say what's up to us at those tournaments down in Vegas. I think the one Grappler's Quest in Vegas, the Fan Expo, is July 4th, 5th, or 5th, 6th. It's the July 4th weekend, but we'll be around there. We should have a decent amount of guys. So
Yeah, come say what's up to us.
Cool.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Andy Richardson.
Andy will move anywhere for a job right now.
He's a beast. He's a beast
He's
in
a
grappling.
beast. Yeah, he's looking for a marketing job. So, what did you graduate? What was your
Smart
degree
guy,
in? What was
fun
your
guy.
degree in?
Finance and marketing.
Finance and marketing degree.
He's a bachelor of arts.
He was on
in
the-
finance and marketing.
He was on the dean's
Can you beat
list.
that? And he grapples? Dean's list?
I was.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he was
God! On the dean's
on the
list?
dean's list.
Damn! Can you do any better than that? No, you can't.
Grappling beast.
You cannot.
The ladies love him.
Hire this
Ladies
cat.
love him. Hire him.
Do you want ladies? Do you want naked ladies all over your joint? Hire this Andy cat. You love it.
All right.
Okay, we're
That's
gonna
it.
sign off. Adios.